Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing domestic immigration matters and why would anyone seek advice from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs regarding domestic immigration. Now, this video is not meant to seem like snarky or sharp or anything, but it's a serious question. I'll get into why. Hold on just a second. I thought of making this video initially after reading a recent article from the Thai Examiner. That's thaiexaminer.com. Article is titled, Thailand's July 15th Visa Revolution Offers Radical Benefits for Travelers to and from the Kingdom. First off, not really. You know, you've been able to, if you go back to the old honorary consulate days, we had these things called multi-entry visas, which effectively are the same thing as this. That kind of got torpedoed, and then we had, well, it slowly kind of faded out, and then COVID happened. So for roughly like the past 4 years, there's effectively been nothing like this. But we've been under a totally different immigration regime, so the notion of this being like revolutionary is a little bit silly. Meanwhile, yeah, look, Thai immigration changes from time to time. Policies change. It's not a revolution. It's just a change in the way that things are done. That said, again, Thai Examiner, thaiexaminer.com, titled Thailand's July 15th Visa Revolution Offers Radical Benefits for Travelers to and from the Kingdom. Quoting directly, Thailand's July 15th visa changes offer so much for travelers in and out of the country, not so much for the traditional long-term visa holders. New 60-day exemption for 103 countries, extendable to 90 days, plus a DTV visa for freelancers and digital nomads. The changes aimed at boosting the economy mark a significant departure. Yeah, it does mark a significant departure, I think, from the past 4 years for sure, but we were dealing with COVID. That wasn't the standard Thai immigration system. Actually, the entire body of immigration law completely changed for 2.5 years due to the emergency decree, which we discussed and remarked on at length on this channel. Quoting further, a senior Thai civil servant at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the last week has brought home the significance of the crucial visa changes ushered in on July 15th. I've seen this sort of meme, if you will, going around the ether of the internet in the past few days. I'm making another video contemporaneously with this one where we will drill down further into it. But I wanted to get this video out rather quickly, just if for no other reason to get people to understand the paradigm of what's going on here, I guess, and that is this. Ministry of Foreign Affairs doesn't have anything to do with domestic immigration matters. Thai immigration matters here in Thailand are handled by the Ministry of Interior, specifically the Immigration Bureau under the auspices of the Ministry of Interior. Ministry of Foreign Affairs is its own ministry. Now, it's my understanding that they're going on some sort of a PR blitz, if you will, with regard to this visa, and that's great. I think that's a good idea, it could help the kingdom. But understand, we're talking about two different things, and I've seen a ton of people out there, forums, just in the ether of the internet, emails, comments, always love some of your real helpful, friendly comments out there, folks. But people saying all sorts of nonsense about how precisely internal immigration protocols are going to work under this new visa regime. And the fact of the matter is, we just don't know exactly how this is going to work. For example, with the new 60-day exemptions, we're not going to know how the extensions are going to work precisely until we get to the 60-day mark at which people are actually undertaking those extensions. Meanwhile, talking about the Destination Thailand visa, we're not going to know how internally, for example, extension of that status may or may not work here in Thailand until we get out to the 6-month mark. More importantly, and something I really don't think people are really understanding is, again, Ministry of Foreign Affairs does not handle internal Thai immigration. And let me put a fine point on that. Much like in the United States system, where there's Department of State and Department of Homeland Security, and under the Department of Homeland Security, there are various offices, including, for example, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, who deals with actual admission of people. The issuance of a visa by, in the case of the United States, Department of State, does not necessarily mean an automatic entry to the United States, because U.S. Customs and Border Protection can deem a person, even with a valid visa, inadmissible to the United States. The same thing can be said for Thailand. You can have a fully valid, totally issued, completely done visa issued by Ministry of Foreign Affairs abroad, and for whatever reason, when you get to a checkpoint here in Thailand, an immigration officer may deny you entry. Is that a common occurrence? No. but it can happen. And it's why I think it's important to make this video, because people do not understand, or seemingly do not understand, the way immigration works. Again, different places have different systems, but generally speaking, the ministry responsible for issuing visas, in the case, for example, of the United States and Thailand, Department of State and Ministry of Foreign Affairs respectively, they issue visas. In the case of the United States, Department of Homeland Security, specifically U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Here in Thailand, the Immigration Bureau, under the auspices of the Ministry of Interior, immigration officers at checkpoints in the kingdom actually deal with admitting people to Thailand or the United States, respectively. Again, immigration does not answer to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So whatever the Ministry of Foreign Affairs says is going to happen, well, that's great. But when they deal with it here in real time, practically on the ground here in Thailand, you're going to be dealing with immigration. And immigration does things differently. And they also have adjudicatory discretion. They can make a determination whether or not to grant a given visa. Also, the same thing can be said for border running. And I'll get into another video that I'm making contemporaneously with this one, talking about border running specifically. But again, immigration can make a determination that, hey, you're living here and we just don't want you living here on this type of visa, et cetera, et cetera. Again, I can't foresee every single thing, but what I do know and what people need to be aware of is that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is not the immigration apparatus that you're going to be dealing with as a practical matter here in the Kingdom of Thailand.